Be afraid. Beware. You are entering the Tiger Pit. Welcome back to Baxter's Blades. We have Restoration of Old Pocket Knives, Part 2. Hellfire's Father's Knives. Now, I do call it restorations. It's more just like an oil and a polish up. I'm not doing anything major with the Dremel. I'm not, I'm not the Buck Factory. But, I put an edge on them. I still need to run them on a ceramic rod and strop them, though. I did run them over a stone. But if you'd like to see what these look like originally, go back 3 or 4 or 5 days, I think it is, on my channel, and you will see what they originally look like. This is Hellfire's father's Buck 110 from, they're still oozing oil. It is from 1981 to 1986, according to the tang stamp. And this blade is, even though it's pretty messed up, it's not bad shape. It's still got some life left in it. Now, I think if Hellfire was extremely proud of this knife and wanted to carry it, he could send it to the Buck Factory and get a brand new blade on it for $10. Now, it wouldn't have the 81 to 86 tang stamp. It wouldn't have, I don't know if it's his father's initials or Mac is for McDermott, because that's his last name. But it's very interesting. But this blade, I put an edge on it. You can use it. It's still sharp. It's usable as is. Now, upon soaking this for 3 days in mineral oil, which action has gotten much, much better. Get my fingerprints off of it. These bolsters were pretty tarnished. So I polished them and polished them and polished them, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. Not on a buffing wheel, just by hand. And the back. Nice and shiny, a lot. I mean, I saturated a rag. But I noticed Mac on the blade, but I didn't realize they put in every bolster. Mac. Still a little spot there. I could use my rust eraser and really get there, but I left that for a little character. Mac. And another spot there. It did soak up a lot of oil. The ebony looks really nice. Not a lot of scars on the ebony. Not too bad. And like I said, you can send this to the Buck Factory. I think it's $6.95, and they'll run it through the spa. They will basically get rid of any blade play, which just has just very little. Still usable as is. I was thinking about hammering this down, but I don't know if Hellfire is going to use it. And it'd be a lot of sanding to get those marks out. And there's already marks in there. But $6.95, they will tighten that blade up. They will sharpen the blade. And they will polish the heck out of this. And if you want, you could have them get the max out, all these dings. You can see all these dings and narfs here. They'll make this look brand new. But to me, that's the character. And that's why I offered just to do a cleanup for Hellfire. Like I said, I don't know how much he's going to use it, though he could. But keep it in its original state, because these knives, they have history. I mean, it's got Mac on every bolster. Also, boy, the oil just keeps coming out of this. It is a little gritty opening. It soaked for like 3 or 4 days. You can see, let's see if we can get in there. There's a Mac on the blade. It's hard to see. There it is. Mac. But it almost looks as if, I don't know if he found this knife and it had somebody else's name. Getting too close. Right there. If it was stolen and that was somebody else's name, or he bought it at a pawn shop with somebody else's name. And you can see that they kind of like took that off. Also, right here, this isn't pitting. This is like somebody just kind of erasing somebody else's name. But I'm sure in the early 80s and late 70s, when everybody was carrying these, everybody put their name on them because they all look alike. Wouldn't want somebody to take your knife and say, oh, no, that's my knife. So maybe that's why they put Mac on every single part of it. And I don't know the history of where Hellfire's father got this knife. So who knows? He could have found it and just took the old name off. But very cool Buck 110. Like I said, just soaked it, polished the crud out of it, sharpened it, and this blade still got a lot of life in it. Like I said, you could reblade it for $10, only $3 more than a spa treatment. And if you spend that $10 to reblade, they run it through the spa anyways and fix everything. So literally, you're getting the blade for like $3. Now, it might be wise for Hellfire if he does want a Buck 110 just to buy a new one. Or heck, I could probably gift him one. Because this just has so much history. You wouldn't want all that character gone. And to me, swapping with a new blade, yeah, if you want to carry your father's knife and have all the character on the handle, but the functionality of a brand new blade, it's a great option. But you're going to lose that date stamp, which signifies what year. Now, you can ask the Buck Factory to send that blade back with you, and you can keep it, but anyways. So that's what I did. It looks pretty good. I wasn't getting all the narfs out. I don't have the equipment to do that. So a mild restoration. The 194 OT Old Timer was actually in really good shape. I soaked it also for 3 days and polished the heck out of it. So the socket Delrin is completely hydrated. That shield has a nice shine to it. The bolsters, you can see mirror in there. The brass pins shine. The back. This is in great shape. No gaps. Centered blade. I did case paste the blade a few times, though. It is a satin finish. There is still some peppering there. I like to keep a little peppering. If there's rust, I'll get it off. I didn't take the rust eraser to this blade because to me, it's the character. It's the history of this knife. I did run it over a stone. Carbon steel, bam, this thing's getting sharp. Like I said, I haven't ceramic rod or stropped it yet, but this would be a fantastic user for Hellfire. Good single-bladed dog leg trapper, and it's got the liner lock there, which kind of polished up a little bit. You can see the press now. Two amazing blades, smoother action for sure, soaking it in oil. Now, the day after, Brad came over to check out a few of my new Buck knives and talk knives, and of course he brought a ton of knives. Well, he recently had some deaths in the family, and that's why he had went back east and brought back the old car. He brought a few that I want to show you, and I am upset that I did not do a before video of these. But here's my mild restoration of this Camis Hawkbill. It's Camillas, New York. I am still getting rusty oil coming out of the pivot. I soaked this for the same amount of time and blew it out, and I'm still getting grime out of it. But this is a really good condition Camillas. Let's get in there on that. New York. Obviously carbon steel, you can see pitting on it. I'm wondering if it's like a chrome vanadium. It's got like a chrome finish, and there is a stamp there. It's like a 1 or an I, and maybe some under the pitting here. I don't know if this is ebony. It looks really close to an ebony. There's a lot of grain to it. Could be a rosewood. It has been used. You can feel the pin there. Brad did put this bail on there because the old bail had fallen off. Great snap on this Hawkbill. I have no idea what year it is. If you don't know, Camillas is the oldest USA knife manufacturer. They are no longer manufactured in the United States. Owned by a Chinese company. Very cool Hawkbill. I love Hawkbills. This has tons of character. It's interesting it has a liner lock. I mean, you're not going to stab. They'll keep it down from coming on you, but most of these were used for pruning or electrical. So I don't understand why they put those, but, you know, an easy way to make a knife slip joint safe back in the old days. What a beauty. Look at half stop. Listen to that half stop. Let's try that again. Bang. Nice half stop. Nice snap. Almost perfectly centered blade. Wow, I didn't think I'd show all these, but why not? We're showing restorations and a couple more that I didn't do before videos of, so you can't see how bad they really were. Look what Brad busted out. An old Bearhead case slimline trapper. I think it could be brown Delrin. I'm seeing some detail in there, some white. It could be Delrin. I almost thought it was a bone, but it's really hard to tell. I soaked this and I polished it. It's still kind of a flat. See the old case oval shield there. It's a Bearhead. Almost perfectly centered. Now the bolsters are pretty hammered, literally. But I shined them up. A little hammer there. Maybe the blade was loose and somebody was just tightening it up. You can see the pin there. And the blade sees some better days, but it still has some life. Now, I do believe I didn't sharpen this one up. I may. Brad is a master sharpener for sure. So when I return this to him, if he'd like to, he could put an edge on it. But it's a good one to have the collection. I checked the date stamp. It is a 6-dot 1974. Another year I was born. 50 years. Going to be 51 soon if it is not already. Really cool. Now I compared this to my Kentucky Bluegrass bone, which is not a Bearhead. But I love these old case knives. No half stop, but still a decent snap there. Nice light pull. Cool classic gentleman's carry. Brad, thank you for bringing this over. Glad I could be a part in shining that up just a little bit. And one that Brad was unsure about, and it has seen some better days. But this is a USA-made Kabar, or Kabar. I call it Kabar, but a lot of people call them Kabars. But this is, you can see on the tang there, barely. I didn't really clean up the tangs or the blades that much on this. This has 0 snap. I think that may be a year on there, 1981. 0 snap. Oh, wait, just a hair snap. Bam. Blade sees some better days. He didn't know if he'd keep it. I told him if he didn't want it, I would keep it because this is just a part of history. Beautiful, probably Delrin, maybe bone. I don't know. There's a lot of character to it. This is Delrin. They did a really good job. And the jigging and the light, it was really dried out and almost like a leopard light print in there. And when I soaked it, it got this nice, deep kind of red color. Spade blade, not much snap, just a little. Yeah, it has seen better days, but just another classic American-made, really cool, smaller Stockman. Now, the sheep's foot has snap still. You can see that. Bam. And like I said, I didn't bother sharpening the blades or polishing the blades because this probably won't be a user. Though you could if you really wanted to. Check out the back spring on this. So yes, I'll be returning these back to Hellfire so you can enjoy them. I think you might put it in a sonic cleaner to clean them yet even more. but they're a good usable state right now. Thank you, Brad, for bringing these over. I was cleaning these up anyways. I figured, heck, why not get them in somewhat ship-shape condition. This is a classic. This is absolutely amazing. I don't think I've ever seen a Camillas New York. Hawkbill liner lock. Love the Hawkbills. And he had a few other cheap Chinese old junkers, and he brought this over. I thought, what a piecer. It's like, do you remember those? I'm like, no, I don't. He's like, everybody had one. They got the American Eagle on it, American Eagle on the blade. I open it up, stainless Japan. Well, Parker, and there's a lot of other companies from Japan that made these knives, and a lot of people considered them cheap gas station knives. And this is kind of is plasticky handles that fall off. But what a really cool lockback. Really good size. Center blade. Nice snap. No blade play left, right, up and down. And I could glue these back on, but this would be a great candidate for a rehandling. And I could just take these handles off and trace them and put whatever I want on there. And I think I want to do that. It might take me a while to do that. I'm thinking oak from my father's property, because we have the brass bolsters here. Polish up the brass, put some oak on there. This would be a cool little lockback. And it actually isn't totally sharp, but there's an edge on there still. And it's a good looking lockback. And I think Japan makes fantastic knives, and did make fantastic knives. Really cool shape to it, for sure. Well, I don't want this to get too long. I really was just showing these two, but this is my mild Baxter polish up knife restoration part 2. Thank you for joining me in the tiger pit. You all stay sharp, be kind, and take chances. Also, stay tuned. Another video of my case collection coming up tomorrow. Take care.